in Hollywood, they look at actors like Justin Timberlake, they call him triple threat, right? This guy can dance, he can sing, he can act, right? There's not a lot of them out there that are good in those three areas. Larry King is a great host. But nobody will say, what was Larry King's opinion on XYZ? That's not his game. He played this.
Ruslan.
Patrick Bet-David had a great insight in his conversation with Andrew Schulz regarding being a triple threat creator. And I love this because this is something that we've been indirectly working on here. And I wanted to highlight those of you guys that are aspiring YouTubers, content creators, business people that want to start YouTube channels. This is just something to think about. I thought this was really good. And I actually think both of these guys' exhibit was about to be discussed here.
Now that you're tapping more into culture, I don't like to call it politics. I think politics is a reflection of culture. But I feel like you're talking a lot more about culture and the things that you're saying. It's not only motivational stuff when it comes to business, but it's also opinion when it comes to, you know, societal breakdown, if you will.
So, you know, in Hollywood, they look at actors like Justin Timberlake and they call him what? You know, they call him triple threat, right? This guy can dance, he can sing, he can act, right? There's not a lot of them out there that are good in those three areas, right? If you were to look at some of the names, maybe you put Will Smith in there, maybe you put Chris Brown in there, but then you have Justin Timberlake. That's there. Okay.
Jamie Foxx.
100% Jamie Foxx. Yeah, 100% Jamie Foxx. So for me, I'm looking at the game and I'm studying everybody. And I said, okay, this guy is a great host. That is a skill set. What's a great host? What do you think? What do you think? Do you agree with each other? What do you disagree with what he has to say? Intro, how about yourself? Well, so that's a host. That's a skill set, right? To be a great host. Like Larry King is a great host. But nobody will say, what was Larry King's opinion on XYZ? That's not his game. He played this, right?
Ernie Johnson on Inside the NBA.
Say that again?
Ernie Johnson on Inside the NBA.
Ernie
Shaq,
Johnson inside, absolutely. He is a great host, right? But if I ask you right now, what is Ernie's opinion on XYZ? You're not going to think about it, right? Then you have talent opinion, Barkley. That guy makes the show, right? Talent, opinion, you know, here's what I think we ought to, they're making a mistake. These guys are a bunch of idiots. You know, San Antonio underwears are the biggest. You know, let me tell you, what is this guy talking about? But he's entertaining. Chuck, you can't say that. Why'd you just say that? So I got to say this the truth. Okay, so you got a host, you got the talent, the opinion, and then you got analyst, Kenny Smith, which means, let me give you an idea why based on this data, okay? Each is attracted by a different kind of an audience, right? If you can do all three, now you got a different kind of a element of talent. So for me, I looked at this and I said, okay, I enjoy this, okay? I enjoy listening to banter, conversation, but then I got opinions about different things. So there is risk with the opinion game.
Big time.
When I was at Grow with Video Live, where's the daggone graphic? There's the graphic. I created this graphic because I thought, oh man, this is actually very, very fire. And this is basically what he's describing. The triple threat creator is someone that has a degree of analysis. They're an expert in something. Expertise, credibility, research.
Okay, right here.
They are a host, interviews, podcasts, collabs, collaborations. Hosts are usually curating conversations. And they also have opinions on things. Opinions are different than analysis. Opinions are subjective. When you have a host with opinions, then you got SEO, search engine optimization. When you have analysis and opinions, there you have authority, right? When you have analysis with being a host, then you have curation. Patrick Bet-David, Andrew Schulz, your favorite creators, Joe Rogan, are triple threat creators. Your favorite people who you're listening to are usually people who can have conversations with other people and host people and have a podcast. They can interview people. They have opinions that are interesting, hot takes. And there's a degree of analysis that they have, a degree of expertise that they can lean back into in terms of their own wheelhouse. Andrew Schulz is an accomplished comedian. Patrick Bet-David is a businessman, so on and so forth, right? One of the things we've done within the last 2 years that's been working is I've always done the opinion thing. I've always done the analysis thing, but we brought back the host. We brought back me podcasting. Why? Because the audience said, hey, we saw you on all these podcasts. We saw you on Valuetainment Money. We saw you on different podcasts, No Jumper, Tim Ross. We like you in long form. You should do more podcasts. You should do more. And that led us to change our entire setup. Well, our setup is more of a podcast setup, and then we could have guests. And then sometimes we do all three of these with our guests. All three of these are happening with our guests. I wish there was a timer running so I know where I was at. You don't got to start it now. I mean.
Well, now you know you probably got about 4 minutes.
So the triple threat creator breakdown, I believe, is going to be essential to the next iteration of people that are coming up. I'll give you guys an example of all three. My conversation with Tim Ross, or my conversation with Tim from the New Evangelicals, is combining all three of these. There's a degree of analysis that I could have. There's a degree of opinion I could have. And there's a degree of hosting and making the person that I'm disagreeing with feel comfortable. Right? All three of these is something that we want to lean into. And we're in the process of booking a bunch of guests that are going to be dropping in June. Some of these people I agree with, some of these people I disagree with, some of these people I will agree and disagree with in the conversation itself.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you are just starting out, where do you think someone should start if they're just starting out?
Where do I think someone should start?
Yes.
Oh, man. I think it would probably be analysis and opinion, because host would mean that you would require other folks.
Other people in the mix.
Yeah, other people in the mix. You might not have access to. Some people, hey, I want to start a podcast right away. And you're like, okay, well, realistically, how many guests can you get a month? They're like, well, maybe 4.
Yep.
And then 2 fall out. So now you have 2 episodes in 1 month. It's probably not looking good for you.
Yep.
So analysis and opinion, that's how you started out. Super effective. I think, though, there is a level to host that, I don't know, like host is also gluing things together. You're hosting a really good experience. So host, you can look at as like, oh, are you able to kind of guide a conversation with folks? But also when you're structuring your videos as content creators, are you hosting the viewer and guiding them through a conversation? So maybe you don't have a guest, but maybe you have multiple things that you can point back to. Hey, we're going to react to this Andrew Schultz thing, but halfway through the video, you're like, and this reminds me of this segment from Joe Rogan. And now you're curating.
So we have that analysis of a host and of analysis, this
exactly.
curation. It's
like host is curation. So like it's not just with other people, you're curating an experience. So I think it's not even just like which one should someone start with. I think it's actually, to your point, like be a triple threat creator right out the gate, because there's so many of each of these. It's going to help you figure out, oh, what should I create? What should I not create on your channel? You're like, well, I need to do all of these to create an amazing video.
I'd agree. I would say the place that I would leave out is, I think initially people should start with some degree of analysis and something that they know well, even if it's just their own testimony, even if it's just their own story, and then their opinion. So analysis, opinion, and then work in the hosting and the curation.
It's a skill. It's a skill you would add later on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So anyway, I heard Patrick Bet-David say that. I talked about that at Grow Video Live. I wanted to share that with our Mastermind My Business channel. According to the Bible, that prayer is extremely important in terms of us being transformed from the inside out when we get aligned with God's will. For the Christians watching this channel, I want you guys to implement these spiritual disciplines in your day-to-day life. And the only way I've been able to do this consistently is through writing down my prayers in a prayer journal that does a few things. One, it allows me to reflect and come to God humbly and ask Him to move on my behalf. And 2, it allows me to document my prayers, which ultimately help me remember the very things that I was praying for and see the hand of God tangibly in my life when He answers them. So I would urge you, consider writing down your prayers. It could be in a blank notebook. It could even be on your phone. Or you could check out the one I personally designed and used from my own quiet time and spiritual discipline that I think will be a huge blessing. It's the exact structure and system that I've used for years to pray and be more consistent in my spiritual disciplines. You can pick yours up today by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.